Good morning, everyone. I'm George Chow. I'm the MLA for Vancouver Fraserville. So my riding is between Fraser Street and Boundary Road and also 49th Avenue to the river. I'm very happy today to be invited to this luncheon, and I also want to acknowledge that we're on the traditional territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh nations with whom we share this land and the hospitality. And I'd like to thank the Asia Commercial Association of Canada for putting this on. And I think MP Davies said it well. He had a lot of the numbers in there, which I will not repeat. And I think MP Davies, he was a trade critic with the Federal Canada NDP. And so I really agree with what he's saying in his conclusion about trade between Canada and the rest of the world. And I think from the BC perspective, BC is it's a small open economy. So we need trade to actually, in order to bring benefits to our people, healthcare, education, seniors care, child care. So we need that to bring in the revenue. And I know, of course, like Don said, MP Don Davies said, we really want to diversify our trade. So from the BC government perspective, I was the Minister of State for Trade from 2017 to 2022, and I see the changes in trade, and particularly during the pandemic, we really bring home the fact that we cannot rely on one particular nation and one particular region. And I think we know our largest trading partner is the US. So for Canada, I think our trade with the US is about 3/4, 70 to 75%. But in BC, we're a little bit better because we're on the Pacific Rim, we're on the Pacific region, and our trade is diversified. So our trade is about 60 to 65% with the US. It's not to put down the US. The US remain our greatest ally and our trading partner, but with the world changing the way it is, I think geopolitical reason, we need to diversify. So our government has gone on a path of a diversification. And for example, in terms of value-added products, we are promoting the mass timber. BC is a producer of lumber, along with some eastern provinces like Quebec. But we used to just ship out logs and also dimensional lumber, and I think we should embark on value-added product like mass timber, because mass timber is engineering wood that are put together in order for the wood to span longer and takes more load. And we have great potential to use that first in BC to build apartments, student residence, because it has a great potential to complete with the existing concrete buildings. Because in the old days, before we changed the building code, you can only build with wood to about 3 to 4 stories. Now, the building code of Canada has changed. You can actually build with wood to 12 stories. So that's a great potential for this product. And we have the know-how to do that. And of course, we have a mass timber strategy, we have a mass timber implementation office, and the government is embarking, the BC government is embarking on a program of building student residence using mass timber. And of course, it goes back to the US too. US would be one of our larger market in terms of mass timber. So we're very happy with that. And looking to the Southeast nations, the ASEAN nations, And this is the focus that we are on in next year or two in terms of trade diversification. For example, Canada is negotiating with Indonesia with a free trade agreement. And Council General Halam is here, and my good friend, and he's working on that. And I think Don also mentioned Vietnam. Vietnam is a great potential coming up, and our government, under the trade, the Jobs and Economic Development Ministry, we have set up an office in Vietnam. And the main objective is actually to persuade the Vietnamese manufacturer that some of the timbers that we produce in BC, even though we don't produce hardwood, we produce soft lumber, is good for furniture because Vietnam is the second largest furniture manufacturer after China. So that's a great potential, and we set up an office there in order to expand, export, and market. So we're happy with that. And of course, the Trans-Pacific Trade Partnership, which is the modified, what we call the Comprehensive Progressive Trade Partnership, that involved actually a collection of nations, Australia, Vietnam, I think South America, Brunei, and Mexico, some of these nations. So we're in good hand in terms of the CPTPP that we could expand our trade. And I think we really need to do that, and in order to actually bring good jobs and economy to our nation. And I think Michael Lee mentioned the diversity of our population in BC. And I think that's the bridge in order for us to diversify our trade. With the diversity of our British Columbia in terms of our population makeup, I think it's a great potential to be able to use that bridge in order to expand trade. Because after all, trade in the beginning is personal relationship. You have to build a relationship, trust, and know the culture in order to really expand trade. And I think that would be our strength. And I really, but on the political front, I really want to reply to Michael's comment on infrastructure. We're working very hard on the Massey Tunnel replacement. But in order to facilitate trade and people, we also eliminated the toll on the bridges. So with the previous government, it was difficult for workers to come from the south of Fraser. A lot of our workers come from South Fraser, and they come over the Parkman Bridge, and they have to pay a toll of, $5 or $6 each way. So we are saving them thousands of dollars in order to, I think it's a fair use of this infrastructure being the highway structure. So I just want to make sure that we are doing that going forward. And of course, we also, it's approved the LNG Canada project, which is a $40 billion investment for Canada, $20 billion in BC. And that's a good thing, helping the Asian nation to eliminate the use of coal in order to bring down the GHG. So in BC, we have the most green LNG, and that's also our potential as well. So we have lots of opportunity, whether it's in strategic mineral, lumber, LNG, and high-tech, biotech, like BC is recognized on that front as well. 2 years ago, during COVID, BC had a delegation of 5 to 10 companies, and we had a conference in California trying to attract capital. So this is one of the shortcomings in our small economy, is that we need to attract capital to BC in order to invest in some of these biology research. And I know we are getting over COVID, but during COVID, all the vaccines that were developed in the world, the BC researcher has a hand in it, every single one. We don't have the manufacturing facility, because we don't have the population. We also need the investment, but we have the brain power to do that kind of research. So I'm very happy, and you know, the cellular it's the forefront in developing vaccine, and I think we have a great potential in that kind of research. And I just want to give a shout out to that, not just to natural resources and mining and all that. And of course, we just approved a gold mine in order to go forward, and that's one of the strategic mineral as well. Anyway, I think you got the gist. You are the bridge to our trade, and we look forward to working with all of you in order to expand our trade across the Pacific. And the federal government has the Indo-Pacific strategy. Now we're moving forward from Asia-Pacific right into the Indo-Pacific strategy. Thank you for your time, and thank you for organizing this. Thank you.